The house that hunted her, Mira had always dreamed of having her own place, away from the noise, the endless faces, the suffocating city. So when she saw the ad online, it felt like fate. Beautiful old house for sale, cheap price, immediate possession. The pictures showed a grand, ancient home surrounded by twisted, leafless trees, standing alone at the end of an abandoned road. Most people would have hesitated, but not Mira. She was tired of renting, tired of feeling like she belonged nowhere. Without a second thought, she bought it. The first time she saw the house in person, a chill ran down her spine. It was far more massive than she expected. Its windows were cracked, its roof sagging, and the entire structure leaned slightly to one side like a corpse mid-collapse. But Mira convinced herself it was just character. She moved in on a rainy Thursday afternoon. By nightfall, she regretted everything. First night rain lashed against the windows. The wind howled like a wounded animal. Mira lit candles because the electricity kept flickering. She set up her mattress on the dusty floor of what once must have been the living room. At midnight, Mira heard it. Soft, deliberate footsteps upstairs. Her body stiffened. She was alone. She should have been alone. Creak. Thump. The footsteps moved slowly from room to room, dragging something heavy. Mira clenched her blanket to her chin, heart pounding so loud she could hardly hear the storm anymore. The sound stopped directly above her. Silence. And then, a slow, rhythmic scratching on the floor. Mira squeezed her eyes shut. "It's an old house," she whispered to herself. Old houses make noises. But deep down she knew. Something was there. Watching. Waiting. The warnings. The next morning, Mira found muddy footprints leading from the front door up the staircase. They were too large to be hers, and they were wet. Fresh. Panicked, she ran into town and demanded answers from the real estate agent. The woman looked guilty. "You weren't supposed to live there," she muttered. Mira stared, cold fear pooling in her stomach. "It's cursed. Everyone who lives there, they don't leave, not alive," she explained hurriedly. Years ago, a man named Elias Crow owned the house. He was a recluse accused of horrible crimes. Children going missing, women disappearing. They said he used dark rituals to bind souls to the house. After he died, the house became a magnet for the damned. They say the house, it feeds. Mira left without another word. But she couldn't just abandon the house. It was everything she had now. So she went back, and the house welcomed her. The attacks begin. On the third night, Mira woke to find something sitting at the foot of her bed. She couldn't see it clearly, just the silhouette. Long, claw-like fingers digging into the mattress. She couldn't move, couldn't scream. She was paralyzed, trapped in her own body as the thing crawled slowly up toward her face. Its breath was ice-cold, foul, rotting. In the flickering candlelight, she saw it. A face that wasn't a face. Hollow black holes for eyes. A mouth stitched shut with rusty wire. She passed out from sheer terror. Voices in the walls. Over the next days, Mira tried to fix the house, patching holes, cleaning grime, pretending she could make it livable. But every room whispered to her. Low murmurs in languages she didn't understand. Sometimes she heard sobbing behind the walls. Sometimes the sobbing turned into manic, hysterical laughter. Sometimes it was her own voice calling from the shadows. The mirrors distorted her reflection. Her own face would grin at her when she wasn't smiling. Her reflection moved when she stood still. One evening, as she stared at herself in the bathroom mirror, she saw, just behind her, a gaunt skeletal hand reaching for her shoulder. She spun around. Nothing. But the handprint stayed on her shoulder, bruising her skin. Her reflection moved when she stood still. One evening, as she stared at herself in the bathroom mirror, she saw, just behind her, a gaunt skeletal hand reaching for her shoulder. She spun around. Nothing. But the handprint stayed on her shoulder, bruising her skin. To the blood room. On the seventh night, a door appeared at the end of the upstairs hallway. A door that wasn't there before. It was blackened, rotting, leaking a thick, sticky, dark liquid that smelled like iron. Something compelled her to open it. Inside was a room soaked in blood, walls dripping red, floor swimming in it. And in the center of the room and a pile of bones fused together into grotesque shapes. Atop the pile sat a figure, Elias Crow, or what was left of him. Skin stretched too thin over bones, eyeless sockets, grinning with cracked yellow teeth. "Welcome home," he rasped. The door slammed shut behind her. The end if you want part 2, so comment.